Before there was Nigeria, before borders were drawn, before tribes had names, there was only land. Ancient, breathing, watching. Thousands of years ago, as far back as 10,000 BC, the land we now call Nigeria was already alive with human footsteps. They were the first settlers, not kings, not empires, not Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. Just people, survivors. They lived close to nature. They hunted antelope across open plains. They fished in ancient waters like the Great Niger River, whose currents carried life across the land. They gathered food from forests untouched by civilization. They made tools from stone, sharp, simple, effective. Every sunrise was a gift. Every night was uncertain, but they were not alone. They believed something else was there, watching and guiding. The earliest settlers believed the world was alive, not just people, everything. The trees had spirits, the rivers had spirits, the wind had spirits. Even the earth beneath their feet was sacred. They believed in an invisible force, a great presence, not seen, but felt. When thunder struck, it was not random, it was a message. When rain fell, it was not ordinary, it was a blessing. When drought came, it was a warning. They believed their ancestors never truly died. The dead lived on in another realm, watching, protecting, judging. This belief would live on for thousands of years and still exist in many African spiritual traditions today. But then, the earth began to change. Thousands of years ago, northern Africa was not desert. The Great Sahara Desert was once green, filled with rivers, animals, life. But slowly, over centuries, the rains stopped. The land dried, grass became dust, water disappeared. And the people who lived there had only one choice: move or die. So they moved south, toward greener lands, towards forests, towards rivers, towards what would become Nigeria. These migrations brought new people, new languages, new ideas. They settled. They built villages. They learned to farm. They planted yam. They planted millets. They domesticated animals. They no longer ran from nature. They lived with it. They respected it. They feared it. And they worshipped the unseen forces they believed controlled it. Over generations, their populations grew. Villages became communities. Communities became cultures. Cultures became civilizations. They learned to shape the earth into hearts. They learned to melt iron from stone. They learned to build structured societies. Leaders emerged. Priests emerged. King would eventually emerge. But it all began here. With settlers who listened to the wind, who respected the earth, and who believed the invisible world was just as real as the visible one. Today, millions walked the land. Cities rise where forests once stood. Technology connects what was once isolated. But deep beneath the modern world, their story remains in traditions, in beliefs, in culture, in identity. They were not forgotten. They became us. Before Nigeria had a name, they were here, watching the same sun, standing on the same earth, beginning a story that would last forever.